Hello, I'm Tracy Grimshaw. Welcome to A Current Affair. First, you do the crime, you do the time, as the saying goes. But a spate of lenient sentences has infuriated victims let down by a system they say treats violent criminals too softly.
Thugs attacking young women on a night out. King hits. Headbutts.
He picked me up by the collar of my jumper and threw me like a rag doll.
And they're getting away with it with just a slap on the wrist.
Justice system? What justice system?
Maddie Broom says she's become a victim twice over. First when she was attacked by a stranger, second when the legal system let her down.
It's only out there to help criminals.
The 22-year-old suffered these horrific injuries after coming to the aid of a friend at the Fitzroy Hotel in Windsor last year.
There was just this guy leaning over him, holding onto a fence with all his might and just belting him. I rushed down and then all I remember is getting halfway down the ramp to where Blake was, and that's when I black out.
This is the back of the hotel where the assault occurred. It happened just on the ramp here behind me. While Maddie blacked out, witnesses say her attacker grabbed her by the collar and headbutted her. They heard a thud and the sound of her teeth breaking.
I had a broken jaw, dislodged tooth, bruises to all of my left side of my face.
This is the man who pleaded guilty to assaulting her. We can't identify him because he's awaiting trial on another matter. What we can tell you is that he'd been jailed before for another assault and had failed to attend community service orders in the past. Maddie came face to face with him in court and was expecting he'd go to jail, but the magistrate handed down a suspended sentence.
He got a slap on the wrist with "this is your last chance," even though he's had many chances, and you're on a good behaviour bond pretty much.
How did you feel when the sentence was suspended?
Disgusted and just, I suppose, numb. Like, how can that happen? He's walked out smiling.
Maddie's mum, Teresa, was in court to support her daughter. She was devastated at the outcome.
If you could just see the look of him when he was being led down for his bail conditions, the smirk on his face.
He knew he'd gotten away with it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And basically untouchable. You could see it in his face. You know, bring it on, nothing can touch me.
He even gloated on his Facebook page about it, saying he was off for a few beers to celebrate. LOL stands for laugh out loud.
He has shown no remorse whatsoever.
Diane Smith saw the Facebook posting. Her son Blake was the young man Maddie was trying to protect. He suffered a broken nose in the assault. She's also horrified at the magistrate's decision.
This guy used his fists, he used his feet to bash my son and Maddie. He didn't have a knife or a gun. He could have killed them with that one punch. So why was he allowed to walk out the same door that we walked out on that day? He should have been walking into a jail cell.
Last month, The Current Affair spent a night out with police in Byron Bay, an area where drunken assaults are spiralling out of control. This CCTV footage was released showing a brutal attack on two young women. The man in the white t-shirt pleaded guilty to common assault and assault occasioning actual bodily harm. He was handed a 2-year good behaviour bond and banned from visiting the town for a year.
It says to the average yobbo out there, just go for it, because really, in the overall scheme of things, you're not going to be severely punished. You can get away with it.
Howard Brown is the Vice President of the Victims of Crime Assistance League. Unfortunately, he sees cases like these all the time.
We refuse to acknowledge that we have a justice system in Australia. We have a legal system. We do not have a justice system.
He sympathises with Maddie, who feels nobody has listened to her. She wasn't even allowed to read out a victim's impact statement in court.
Probably the most disturbing aspect of this is that Maddie looks at this matter and says, no one has taken what has happened to me seriously. And yet you look at the injuries she sustained and the effect and the after effect that this crime has had on her, and here she is abandoned by a legal system which is allegedly there to protect all of us it has failed to do so.
This is sending out a message to the new generation that they'll get away with things like this. They can go out and start fights. They can beat someone to near death and they'll get away with it.